Hello and welcome to your November tarot reading. In this video, I will go for predictions and energies for all 12 zodiac signs. It's a general reading. Take the messages as they resonate. Also check your sun, moon and rising sign. The video is broken down by timestamp with your specific sign, so feel free to jump ahead to your segment. Let's begin. We're going to start with you, Aries, first. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a wonderful October and November brings you all the desires and wishes that you have. So ambient energy for November for you, Aries, is the Seven of Pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles represents someone who's been working really hard with a long, repetitive, sometimes boring, but consistent effort putting in, and finally you're going to see the fruits of your labor. You've been working on something for a very long time, and in November you're going to see those the fruits growing. If it was an investment, maybe some dividends coming your way. Perhaps it's real estate. Pentacles are often related to real estate. There could be something happening that will increase the value. But this is general reading. Could be other things related to material things in life. Now you also have a Seven of Cups, and Seven of Cups represents illusions or sometimes also dreams. So it really depends in this context. And if we speaking of dreams, perhaps this indicates that while you've been working on something for a very long time, there is more to consider. Could also mean that the things that you've been focusing on, they may not be true or something you really care about, they resonate with you or connect with, and perhaps it's time to focus on something that is truly important to you. Let's have a look at all the cards here, and we will figure out what the center card means as we get other cards sitting next to it. So for your inner world, the thoughts, desires and ideas, the Six of Cups often represents going back to something you're familiar with, something that once made you happy and brought you joy. And this is perhaps you deciding to go into a familiar ways of doing things, or reconnecting with people from your past, because Cups is a suit of emotions, maybe reconnecting with some of your friends, or perhaps your former partner or girlfriend or boyfriend, something like this. But this is a general reading, so it could be a person that you feel emotionally connected with in the past. Now the Eight of Swords here, that's toward the mid of month. It also suggests that you may be feeling a little bit trapped or isolated, and that could be the reason why you wanted to reach out to some of your older friends and connections here. And there's also a cause of celebration. So it seems like while you feel isolated, they're going to find a way to reconnect with these people, and there's going to be a cause of celebration there as well. And perhaps it's something to do with some of the Two Pentacles cards in this corner here. But let's look at the central column here. So this is the most important messages and learnings for November. The Hermit card here. So this is generally means someone who is taking time in search for truth. So Hermit isn't isolated because they've been ostracized or left alone for whatever reason. This is a personal choice, and to me it seems that you want to take time to really look introspectively into yourself to find some answers. And I think this is resonating with this Eight of Swords. There's something there that make you feel trapped. It's more that you don't have all the knowledge and all the facts about something that is important to you. And in November, you'll be taking time off to figure that out, find that clarity. There's a bit of a guidance on this as well. I'll give you in a second. Now, the Seven of Cups that I mentioned often represents illusions, but it also could be that you are looking for the answers in that introspection to find that real truth. Like, what is it that you really connect with? What is it that your heart truly desires? And interesting enough, we have an Ace of Wands card, and Ace of Wands is the new idea, new beginning of something you're really passionate about. And I think you're gonna find it. So the message here is that don't be afraid to take time off to really reflect on what is happening in your life. And if you had any feeling that you've been blindfolded, it's the answers are within you. And this Eight of Swords card here, you can see there's a water, like a little creek or puddle of water here. And the water in tarot represents intuition. And this card is telling you, well, you may not know all the answers. You can find your way out by just connecting to that gut feel that you have. And I think the Hermit here represents that. And it seems to me that you will break through for this, because you're gonna get to the Ace of Wands that does represent a new idea. So you will find out what it is that you're looking for. So the external environment, these are people or places where you spend most time with that influence you or impact your life. First of all, you got a Ten of Pentacles. It seems that there's going to be some kind of a big event happening. And now, Ten of Pentacles represents generational wealth, often like inheritance, or perhaps something that's been built for a very long time. In this scenario, I think this potentially could be speaking to something that you will be you'll be building, but it's hard to tell because I cannot see any cards here. So really, this one is probably talking more about this idea of this really strong foundation, whether it's maybe you've been working on something, building something like a business or investments, and they're gonna pay off in a big way, or it could be also some changes like in the market, or perhaps some other conditions changing that will result in you reaping some really big rewards. And this is not just a winning a lottery thing, it's really something that you or others have been working on. People are close to you, family, or someone that you really closely connected with. Now, it's also interesting, you got a Page of Swords here. Page of Swords represents many things. It could be a news that's quite interesting because it's coming here. It also often means that it could be a truth that's coming out. It's kind of interesting because we do have here too many choices, potentially illusions. So there's going to be someone who will break that truth or bring you the idea, whatever that is. And there's a bit of a competition happening in your life. So the Seven of Wands often represents some kind of I'm not going to say struggle, but it speaks more for you defending your point of view, defending something that you care about. And it seems that through this is going to be some success coming your way, but you'll be challenged on that. And you definitely are on the winning side here because you have climbed to the top here, but there will be people who would want to take what's yours. And you're gonna have to be strong to fight them off, to defend your ideas, to look after what you really care about. Let's get a clarifier card to see what, maybe we'll get more guidance on what this all means. Follow your calling. Attend to your life's purpose. So I think this speaks to this Seven of Wands here, and also the Seven of Cups here. It's interesting, you got two sevens here in the mix. And what this is telling me is that you will know what the true answer is if you really listen to your heart, to your purpose. What is it you're meant to do in life? A Hermit is telling me that you may have to do some introspection, find out what we really care about, to break through illusions. Or maybe it's not even an illusion, maybe it's you get too many dreams that you can potentially follow, and it can be challenging. And I think if you really figure out what is it that you want by listening to your heart and finding what your purpose is, that is when you can have this breakthrough or come up with a new idea, and it will be much easier for you to stand your ground if it's really something that you truly care about. Hello, Taurus. This is your part of the reading for November. I hope you're doing well, and I hope November brings you what you desire. And I already see that you got some interesting cards coming your way. All right, Taurus. Overall ambient energy for November is the Queen of Pentacles, and Queen represents fertility, reconnecting with your true nature, and feeling abundant. And it looks like your month will be giving you opportunities to feel that way. In the center card here is the Five of Cups, which is quite interesting. So this is a card of regret. And regret in this scenario where a person who still have two perfectly full and standing upright cards, but then they are reminiscent of their loss, of they are regretful of their losses here. And of course, I think this is going to be an interesting card because this is a reminder that you have everything you need in your life, Taurus, to be happy, and all the resources and everything. But you really need to shift your focus from what could have been to what you already have. Let's look at your inner energies. So you've got a Temperance card, the Sun, and Nine of Pentacles. And again, we see in this Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, I quite like this. It seems like you do have this sense of abundance. So the Temperance card suggests being patient in achieving your goals, and then also balance, keeping your balance, work-life balance perhaps. So probably here it's more of a balance between your spiritual development and your spiritual world and material world. You also have the Sun card, and it's a beautiful card that symbolizes happiness, one of the strongest cards in tarot. Also means the truth that will come out. The Sun does illuminate everything. And you also have Nine of Pentacles. So this is telling me that in November you need to seek balance and really stay connected with both your mental well-being and your physical well-being. And also, when you get the time to shine, don't be waiting for a perfect moment to be happy. I think this is really telling me that you can achieve happiness by keeping your balance, and this happiness is going to lead some beautiful sense of satisfaction, success, right? It's definitely something that symbolizes a person who has everything they need. I guess the only reminder here is that looking at all these cards here, I see that there's a lot of people with cards with one person on them. And I think Nine of Pentacles is someone who is self-sufficient and independent, but also it's a card of someone who is by themselves. So perhaps this is a time for you to also look into that. But let's just look at other parts of the reading here. So in the middle you have the Ace of Cups, symbolizing a potential for emotional connection with someone. And I think that sort of speaks here that you don't have to do it alone. And the Five of Cups we talked about, feeling regretful about losses in life, where there is plenty of in life to enjoy. And I think the Sun card here is going to illuminate that. We're going to shine the light on the other beautiful things that you have in your life, because it looks like you do have this abundant mindset towards the end of November. We also have Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is one of my favorite queens here because she is ready for action. She is a person who takes she takes no BS from anyone. She cuts through all the noise, all the ambiguity, and she's ready to face challenges front on. Now, the Nine of Cups and Four of Wands and Page of Cups, this is your external world, the environment, or perhaps people. So there's someone there in your life who had all their wishes come true. And I think what this symbolizes here, you could potentially see this person as someone who can motivate you and help you with this new emotional connection that you have there, because they seem to be quite successful in what they do. And I think this leads to the Four of Wands, right? So this is, again, building a strong foundation or returning back to your home. And I quite like it here. It looks like this part of your month is filled with abundance and coming back home almost. If you've been traveling, perhaps, I don't know if it applies to you, it's coming home. Or if you've been working on something solid, perhaps it's a new business, perhaps you're planning to start a family here, because the Queen of Pentacles here indicates fertility. This could be also indicating that. We also have a Page of Cups, and I think this is what I was mentioning about the Nine of Pentacles. While this lady here is successful, she also is doing it alone. And I think what the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups suggesting to me, if you feel like you are carrying the weight, and you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, Page of Cups suggests that there is opportunity there to connect with someone. A page here is looking at the fish out of the cup there, and the water right behind him, but he's not ready to step in and master it yet. So he's mastering his skills of connecting with others. And I think this is a suggestion that there'll be someone coming in. There are people in your life who would like to connect with you, and you need to give them an opportunity to do that. Let's get a clarifier card so we get a bit more knowledge on what is it that you need to know for the month of November. Face the unexpected. Uncertainty is the only certainty. I quite like this card. And I think this is perhaps speaking to a couple of points here. I would say that the face of the Five of Cups, perhaps sticking to familiar, even if it's something that didn't work out, is something you're comfortable with. But for you really to move on, you have to turn away from that, and then face some uncomfortable truth in your life. And I think the Queen of Swords here is also speaking to that. I think this is resonating quite well. So if there is an uncertainty in your life, you have to embrace it, and the answers will come the closer you get to this uncertainty. I always like this analogy of the safety numbers, where the small fish gets into this big bowl and they swirl around to scare away predators. But in reality, if a predator who is not afraid of the school of fish being in this huge bowl, if only it could get closer, it would realize that they're actually only tiny fish. And I think this is how it works with fears. Fears, it's only there because we don't have clarity on what's happening. But closer you get to your fears, less fearful we become of them. So I think this is a really good card. Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your October reading. We had a wonderful month, and there's an even better one lying ahead for you. So the overall energy, or ambient energy, I should say, for November is a Three of Swords, and this card usually represents disappointment, but it also could be a failure in communication or being able to reach out to someone. And while this is a dramatic looking card, I quite like this card because in a way it signifies the end of something. It's normally the truth comes out, right? When disappointment happens, we realize that our expectations aren't aligned with reality. I think this card symbolizes that. Now, interesting enough, for the center, the core card, we have the King of Pentacles. And King of Pentacles represents someone who is very confident and solid and pragmatic leader. And in this case, this is a card that's referring to you, to your main energy. And November will be the time when you be very steady, steady in your stride, so to speak. This is going to be a month where you're going to be making decisions coming from very grounded mind. It's also opportunity to improve your wealth or any material matters. The king sits on this throne filled with all kinds of fruit, and he's holding a coin in his hand. So this is someone who is successful, who lives in an idea of abundance, and this is the energy that you'll be embracing in November. Let's look at your internal thoughts, desires, and mindset. So you got a Three of Wands here. This is a card showing someone who is ready to make the next move. And if you've been thinking of something for a while, it could be a trip, but also could be you taking the next step on the some ideas that you put together, plans that you've been working on for a while. We also have this happiness card on the map here, and if you are in relationship, this perhaps mid-November for you, Gemini, there's going to be something coming to a beautiful fruition in your personal life. Ten of Cups represents family quite often. If you've been with someone, perhaps this is taking your relationship to the next level. But this is a mindset, right? So this is not necessarily meaning a family. This is more of you feeling content with yourself and with how your life is. And it's also a time for learning, right? So perhaps this is learning coming from the way I feel, or perhaps this is learning for your next endeavor. Like they'll be taking steps here, some practical steps, it seems, and going on a new, I don't want to say adventure, because the Page of Pentacles is he's a learner of the deck, but he's also someone who's pragmatic. So adventure probably not the right word, but I would say the new endeavor is something that is going to take time to get to. And Page here he's not in a hurry. So we see a lot of Pentacles in this spread, which is quite interesting. I think it's going to be a good month for you, because all the Pentacles cards that I've seen here, they represent either collaborating with others and or making steps towards building wealth. You've got all the male energy cards here. Well, Pages, it can be either, but definitely the Knight and the King. And you also have two Kings here. For the medium column, this is your core learnings and discoveries. There's going to be a time we'll be working with with other people, and I also think that it's going to be an opportunity to learn something, or perhaps to lead people, right? So this person here, he's standing on a bench here, representing that he is taking the lead in this conversation. It could be you, because this is a core energy. It's likely to be you, and this is definitely some kind of a building or project, one of those one of those things. Now, King of Pentacles, this is our core energy here. And you can see how it permeates here. This place, this person at the core, he's capable of achieving all of these things, right? And you can see how there's a lot of good good energies and good predictions happening here. The November, this is a time for you to lead from this grounded place that I mentioned. This is time to make very wise and pragmatic steps, but also people will come into you, like Three of Pentacles here. I think this person is basically you. People will be coming to you for advice. They'll be asking for an approach, how to solve things, and I think it's a beautiful opportunity for you to be that person for them. We also have the Knight of Pentacles, and it's just that in the second half of the month, you need to show some patience. There's going to be work happening your way, and there's no indication that you need to be. There's no indication that you rush into things. So whatever happens in the second month, the second half of the month, take your time. And I can see there's a King of Cups here as well. We'll talk about it in a second. But all the cards here, as you see, they're steadily, they either standing very firm, or they sit on a horse that's not taking any action. So whatever you're going to be doing in the second half of November, take your time. Don't feel rushed, because this is not a time when you make fast and unplanned decisions. And in the last column, we have the Devil, the Ace of Swords, and the King of Cups. This is interesting because this is your external energy. It could represent people or an environment, and it looks like there's someone in your environment. They either have they have some unhealthy attachment, and that are affecting you, or it's potentially something in your environment that is tempting you to go astray, and it's definitely not the time to do that. But also, if you let go of those unhealthy attachments, I think you're going to get an opportunity for some new ideas, some new insight, a new breakthrough. I can definitely see it here. So you also have a King of Cups here. King of Cups represents an emotional, supportive leader, and I think this represents a person in your life that can be there to give you a helping hand if you need it, perhaps an advice, or someone who is in really good control, understanding of their emotions, and they can help you with that. And it's also, to me, it seems that this is going to be a person who can help you with the disappointment. If that happens to you in the month of November, this person here is someone who can reaffirm that you are on the right path and help you emotionally. Now let's put a clarifier card, see what it all means. I'm curious about the disappointment and card, the Three of Swords, and the other interesting things here, like the happiness card in your role as the wise leader. Shifting the blame, accept others for who they are. That's a beautiful card, because I think it actually speaks to the disappointment here. Perhaps that you already know that this person or this situation is going to disappoint you, but you're not either putting blame on yourself for what's happening and accepting it, or you're not willing to face the truth. And I think this card here is saying that you need to accept the reality, no matter how disappointing it is. And this is your way to continue to be grounded in your decision and how you approach your life. Hello, my fellow Cancerians. Welcome to your November read. Hope you had a wonderful month of October, and November brings you even better results. We're going to look at energies and predictions for November. And if you're not familiar with this spread, this is representing your inner energies, thoughts, desires, your core learning, and external influence here. So let's start with the overall ambient cards. This is the card of, well, of feeling like you don't belong and potentially a hardship. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be sitting outside or having no money, of a building people not let you in. It can also mean a feeling of not belonging somewhere, or feeling that you don't deserve something, right? We'll look at other cards, but that's the overall energy. And the Five of Wands here is a core learning or overall message of this read, and it represents fighting for what you really care about. Not be afraid to speak up and express how you feel, and fighting others for what may be rightfully yours. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily a fight. It could be challenging others with ideas, or perhaps presenting your ideas so they can be heard, simply as that. We'll look at other cards and it will make sense. So the Hermit here, generally Hermit represents someone taking time to introspectively look for truth, for something that really matters to them. And I think this card is representing you taking time off and reflecting maybe on recent events in the first half of November. You also have Seven of Swords here, and I think you may be feeling that you've been cheated out of something, or perhaps there's a bit of a conspiracy, or something plotting something behind your back. Perhaps you're feeling that you've been cheated out of maybe a job opportunity, or perhaps something that you really cared about, and you feel that you were treated unfairly. A good thing about it, though, this is just the mid of November, and this is going to come to an end. At the end of November, you're going to feel more grounded. I definitely feel this feeling of abundance, and I think you feel that you learn from this experience, but from reflecting, and also realizing perhaps that you do have everything you need in your hands, and even if you've been treated unfairly, you still have plenty, and you come out of this a wise person who can perhaps lead others, and lead by example too. The middle column, this is your core learnings. Now, the Wheel of Fortune normally represents a change of cycles, but more importantly, it represents it symbolizes that a lot of things in our life are outside of our control, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we cannot control everything, and life has good and bad in it. So Wheel of Fortune basically representing the things you can do. Your purpose in November is to show up, to give the universe the best that you can, and then let go. So Wheel of Fortune basically saying that. And if you had a challenging October, the Wheel of Fortune definitely telling you that your fortunes are changing. It's a beautiful thing. Now, Five of Wands, I mentioned, kind of represents the challenging others for ideas, so just making sure you've been heard, and not being afraid to speak the truth, right? So if you really care about something, this is the time to shine. And I like how this is all leading to the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is this generational wealth idea, and to me, it seems that whatever you challenge, you accept it here, and the Wheel of Fortune, the events outside of your control, they actually are going to work out in your favor, because you have both the King of Pentacles here, you got the King of Pentacles, and Ten of Pentacles here. And Ten of Pentacles definitely signifies that you are going to be successful in defending others. And I don't really want to see I don't want to see life as this competition. It's more of a, we need to realize that world is an abundant place and there's plenty for everyone. And I think the Hermit here, the lesson that the introspective lesson the Hermit is taken, that leads you to adopting that abundance mindset, is going to also show up in in your life as it's Ten of Pentacles. It's the idea of material generational wealth that lasts you and others, and something that you've been working on for a while. So I really love this card here. Now, looking at external influences, so this is people or environment. You've got the Eight of Swords here. It's a feeling of being trapped or perhaps blindsided. Can also indicate that you feel isolated, right? And interesting thing there is that you actually not isolated at all, because if you use your gut feel, your intuition, you can find a way out of this predicament. And it's really more of the mental trick. You do have the answers there. You just have to follow your intuition, and you know what's right. There is going to be some disappointment happening your way, and this could be you're disappointed with others primarily, and I think this also could be a card that is indicating the truth will finally come out, right? Whatever truth may be. And I quite like it, because truth does liberate us. It frees us from the shackles of attachments or illusion. Like in this case, it could potentially be representing that. And I like it because in the end, there's going to be some new beginnings, it could be something related to health, a breakthrough that you are waiting for or you wanting. It could be also a breakthrough. Maybe you come up with the idea of how to finally figure out how to get that house for your family, or perhaps this is something on how you can advance in the material world with a pay rise or something else. So definitely a good news coming your way. And I can see that it's all aligned here so this is the second half of November. There's a lot of material news coming your way, and they are very positive news, which I quite like. So I can only say that the Five of Pentacles here is definitely related to you perhaps feeling that you've been cheated out of something and feeling of not belonging. But I can tell you from the cards, it's telling me that you do have abundance in your life. It's just really a matter of developing that abundance mindset. Let's pull a clarifier card. I'm curious to see if there's any guidance on how to approach this, the Five of Pentacles card. And bask in nature, breathe the scent of flowers. Yeah, so I think it also speaks to this abundance card that we see, the King of Pentacles. How interesting that there's a lot of connection there with this, the fruits and nature, and connection to the Mother Nature. I would say that it really is accepting that the world is an abundant place, and limitations are really in our mind. And if you take steady steps, if you work for your for the feeling of not belonging, for a feeling that you've been cheated, there is a good news, and I can see that happening here. Welcome to your reading, Leo. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful October, and November brings you everything that you dreamed, wished, or desired. Let's have a look at your energies and predictions. Remember, this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate and leave the rest. So the ambient energy for November is Queen of Wands. And Queen here represents a bold and charismatic, self-assured person who is quite passionate about what they believe in. And at the core of the reading, we got Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles It presents someone who have achieved material success, but there's a bit of a tension. Sometimes they call it a greed card, but I think the way I interpret it is that while this person has all the wealth and money, Leo, they cannot let go. They don't want to use it for themselves or for others. And I think this card signifies a bit of a tension, a bit of a unwillingness to let go of something that could be potentially straining. Let's have a look at other cards in the read, and then we will see how those the two main cards play out. In the inner desires, ideas, and passions, we have Page of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and Six of Swords. It's quite interesting because you have two of the cards which signify walking away and looking for refuge. But let's have a look at this here first. So firstly, Page of Swords. It's often connected with a message of some kind, but I also think in this case it's probably a realization of something important to you that will make you walking away for something that doesn't work for you. Perhaps this could be a news about something that you didn't realize before, or something of more of a, as I mentioned, realization. And interestingly enough, you have Six of Swords as well. This is a person who's taking refuge from the of something like a battle, something traumatic, or something that's been has been actively disrupting their life. So both of these cards signify that. So I would say that there is a desire in you, or that there's some news coming your way, or some realization that will make you want to walk away, or at least, if it's not going to be happening in physical sense, you taking break from something, you deciding that you no longer allow this to bother you. You no longer allow this to live in your head rent-free. And similar with this one, I think perhaps this potentially could be you switching your focus away from whatever's been on your mind for so long, and then spending time meditating perhaps, or engaging in something that is completely unrelated. You basically making a conscious decision to break this habit, the train of thought, or the thinking that you got engaged in. Looking at the central column here, the Six of Cups, you got Four of Pentacles, and you got Six of Pentacles. It's quite interesting. There's definitely a desire for you to go back to the familiar ways, right? There used to be time back in your life that you were very happy with how things were. You felt emotional connection with something, and you want to go back there. And I think this is going to happen here. And I find it interesting because you also have the Eight of Cups. To me, it's telling me that you are ready to walk away something, but you also want to go back to something that's been proven to work for you, right? Four of Pentacles, I mentioned, could be greed, could be tension, could be something that you worked really hard for and you're not willing to let go. Of course, there's a problem with it. If you sit in that way, first of all, you're incredibly lonely, right? And also it's extremely uncomfortable. And what's the point of having this? It's just like a dog that has all the gold coins, but you cannot eat them, right? And you just go around hungry, looking for help because it's not something you can eat. And I think the idea there is to let go of that because it's not working for you. And I think the Eight of Cups is telling me the same thing here. It looks to me that you accumulated either wealth or something else that caused you to isolate yourself from others and causing a bit of tension. And I think in November, you're making a decision to not let this to define your life. And I can see the Six of Pentacles here. You're going to be making this change in your life where you are, I think you're going to decide to be more generous with your time or money or attention or something where you're no longer holding on to it. And I think this is a much better way of living. This person here is much happier and he's surrounded by others who quite grateful. And I think it also brings a sense of balance in one's life. Now, the Sun. So this is your external influence, right? And it's interesting because it's at the beginning we have this really strong card here. This Sun brings light and it illuminates things, and it brings well, it shows the truth, what things really are. And I think this is what's going to happen there. This news coming your way, it's also a positive news in a way, because I think it's going to liberate you, right? Looking at this here, whatever that news may be. And it's a card of happiness too. It seems that it's also connected to your childhood, or at least the emotion that you experienced in the past. Interesting enough, I think the sun will shine on the on this sense of ambiguity, or perhaps not actually ambiguity. This is more like you feel trapped for some time, and I think sun is coming here to help you with that, right? And I think this is also going to lead to you finally working with other people, because this, it's interesting that here it's pretty much this role here is person by themselves, and here there are others in the picture. So by breaking away from this, from a tension, from holding on to something that's not working for you, you also liberate yourself from not being able to see clearly what you really need to do, where you need to go in life. And I think this is going to lead you to working with others to build something that you really care about, but also share your knowledge. I think you've done a lot for yourself that can be useful for the others. And I think this Six of Pentacles isn't just sharing your wealth or your time. I think it's also sharing your knowledge, because in Three of Pentacles, this person is a master of their craft, but also he's willing to work with others and show them and share with them what the secrets that they learned. Quite an interesting read. It's a generic, of course, it's a general reading, and I don't have specific situations, but I hope this resonated with you. We're going to get one clarifier card for you, Leo, and hopefully that makes things a little bit clearer. And we got the Faithful Way. Let faith cultivate your motive. And I think this card speaks to probably the walking away from no longer works for you. I can definitely see that. And also, I think to the Eight of Swords, if you felt that that you don't have an answer, perhaps the answer is something you really believe in. And I think that's how you find your way out of this mental block that you may be experiencing. Welcome to your part of the reading, Virgo. If you haven't seen the other signs, I'll be using the tableau spread with your inner world in this column here, with your thoughts, desires, and ambitions. Middle column here is the core lessons for the month and core discoveries, and the last column here is your external influences. Starting off with the Page of Wands here. So this is ambient energy for November. This is a good month to make a first step on a passionate project that you've been working on for a while. So this is suggesting that you already have a few ideas in your mind, and November is a time when you need to take action. Now, the Five of Swords, a core card here, is also suggesting that it wouldn't be an easy task necessarily, but all good things in life, they require effort, and they are not easy. Five of Swords represent many things. It could suggest that there would be a need for you to walk away from battles that aren't worth it. It also suggests that you may be facing some challenges on the way towards that the passionate project or ideas that you have. So looking at the inner world, it's interesting that in the beginning of the month there's a need for you to work with others on building something big. It seems that you've got a life-changing or a significant project in your life, and you are coming across as a leader in this. And whatever that big project is, you are achieving victories. The Six of Wands here suggests that your passions will pay off, and you will be victorious as this person here riding a horse and surrounded by people who are supportive of him. So it's definitely this collaborative effort, working with others, leading to success. And towards the end of the month, I would imagine this is going to be a quite energy demanding work that you've been involved with, and you need to find time to balance your life a little bit. So don't stay too late at work. Don't invest your weekends into pouring all your energy into that one thing. Make sure that you have a priorities also met. Spending time with others, attending to your spiritual needs is also equally important to maintain that equilibrium. Now, the core learnings. You seem to have, you will be building connection with someone. So Two of Cups suggests a really close connection, and this is not a love reading. So I would say that it could also mean a connection with yourself, or emotional connection with a person that you resonate with really well, your significant other, or perhaps one of your close friends. Now, going back to the Five of Swords, there are different interpretations of this. I would say that in this scenario, we see in the Two of Cups, I think to maintain this harmonious relationship with the person, you need to be selective, and just maybe ask yourself a question: what's more important to you? Is it the relationship with this person, or do you want to be right, or do you want to be right, or you want to be happy? And I think this card represents this here. So to maintain that connection, but also you may feel a little bit blindsided. This card came up for a few other readings, and I do shuffle my cards before each read. Eight of Swords represents someone who may feel isolated, and they also seem to not been able to find a way out of this predicament. But the solution, of course, is there: is trust in your intuition to find your way out. Now, the external world, we've got the Emperor. Emperor represents a strong leader, someone who can take charge and commands attention, but also it's a person who is ready to take action. So there's a person in your life, is a mature person, someone you respect and listen to. There may be need for you to work with them closely, and if you have any challenges in the Swords suit, you've got the three of them here. Perhaps the Emperor in your life is strong leader, can give you guidance, perhaps mentor you. And there's also this Nine of Swords card here. So there's going to be an event or something happening that will allow you to see things more clearly. If you've been carrying a burden on your shoulders and you feel a bit anxious, this is definitely, you can see it here. The good thing about Nine of Swords is that it's that anxiety, so waking up from a dream, it happens, and once you awaken, you realize it isn't a real thing. And the most important thing that that realization, right? Because it stops whatever cause of anxiety was, and you need to take an action on that. But also, you've got the Page of Cups here. Page of Cups often represents a person who is seeking an emotional connection with you. And I would say, like here with Eight of Swords and Page of Cups, there's a person there who wants to reach out for help, and they definitely looking at you in this scenario, and they also connected with water. So to me, it seems that this emotional connection could be your way to gain clarity on whatever it is that you feel that you are not able to see. But also, it's a way to break through the sense of isolation and not having other people in your life. Let's get a clarifier card. I'm curious about the swords here and what they represent. Life is opportunity. Live deeply centered in love. Yeah, so I think this is probably speaking to this card here. And I have a feeling that this strong connection with someone, there are some challenges, and I think it's challenges primarily to do with your thought processing. And I can see the swords often, while they look ominous, what they actually represent is breakdown in communication, lack of clarity, right? So it's all mental games and mental tricks. And to me, it seems that rather than being trapped in your own thoughts and ideas and feeling that you're isolated, look at things around you. What is it that you really care about? It looks like you do have an emotional connection here. There's a victory happening with your passion, work, or side projects, whatever it may be. And instead of being trapped in your own head, focus on things that you care about and that you love, and see the life as a journey that offers you opportunities to grow, to develop, to spend time with others, and get out of there. Do and go to things that you love. Hello, Libra. Welcome to your November reading. If you haven't seen the other sign reads, I'm using this 10 card tableau spread with the left column here representing your inner thoughts, ideas, and desires. The middle column is the core learning for the month, and the last column here, your external environment, people or places where you spend most of your time. Starting with the ambient energy, the Four of Wands. So Four of Wands represents many things. In this scenario, I would say this is a building foundation of something strong. If you are looking to build a home, start a family, or perhaps build a foundation for a business, this is a good card to have in November. It also could represent coming home. So if you've been traveling, this could potentially be a card of you suggesting that this is time that you are going back to something familiar, and there's a celebration there, definitely. And you also have an Eight of Swords. Now, Eight of Swords often represents self-isolation or being trapped, and it's primarily to do with your own thoughts. And not being able to rely on your intuition or help of others, all self-inflicted. Let's have a look at the other cards in the spread, and we'll see what these two mean in the context. So for the inner world, you have a Ten of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. So these three cards, Ten of Pentacles, it seems that in November you're going to be flourishing in this abundance mindset, that the world is, universe is an abundant place with enough for everyone, which is a beautiful thing. When we operate from this place, we are more generous, we are more forgiving, we are less to get involved with unnecessary little fights, and feel better about ourselves and the world around us. Now, it's interesting that it actually, towards the end of the month, is going to progress into the Four of Pentacles here, which to me suggests that you are maybe feeling that you need to hold on to what you build, right? And while it's a good card in a way, because it does have it does suggest that you live in a world of abundance and you feel that you do have enough. Holding on to something for too long, it's called greed, right? So and we live in a world where we're all interconnected, and we need to share, if it's knowledge, if it's wealth, or if it's your time. And if you're feeling that way, it's definitely something to be aware of. And There's also it seems that you want to take a break, or there's going to be a feeling of you wanting to take a break from the busy life, and I can understand that, perhaps holding on to some of those ideas and thoughts, and it can be quite taxing on our mind, and I definitely can see how you want to take some time off. You know, the feeling that you get that you want to you go on a holiday and you feel like you've been working without having one for a while. That's the feeling that I'm referring to. In the middle column, that's quite interesting. So we've got the Hierophant here. Hierophant represents tradition, going back to the traditional orthodox way of doing things, and it looks like there's definitely a call for that in November. And we talked about the Eight of Swords, the sense of isolation. Now, I do like that towards the end of the month, there's a Sun card here. So whatever doubts, whatever sense of like not knowing enough to make a move and feeling paralyzed you had, it's definitely going to clear up towards the end of the month. The Sun card, first of all, it's a happiness card, but in a way that's more childlike state. If you have seen children, how they run around and not completely unaware of all the troubles in the world, and it's a beautiful place for them. That's exactly the card here. So it's going back to your roots, to this authentic feeling of happiness, but also a card that illuminates, right, and it clears up the path for us so we can see clearly. And I can definitely see that happening towards the Eight of Swords. So this middle column here, just to reflect that you may be forced to follow the tradition, but in a way that limits your creative thinking, and this is not something that you not something you enjoy, perhaps. And the way out of this is to illuminate your way how you can either operate in this environment. But I'm also thinking that it's probably you breaking away from this, right? Because looking at external column here, it's to me suggests that the Tower is it's abrupt finishing of something, the existing structures falling apart here. But it's also letting go of illusions, right? If you build yourself an idea that the world works in a certain way, or certain things are happening in your life because of so and so, this will come to an end. Now, what I like about the Tower card, first of all, you need to break something down before you can build something new. And this is most certainly the case, Libra, that this is whatever beliefs that you had, or perhaps it could be restructured work, it could be things like changes in the market. Now, and I think this is exactly what you've been looking for here with this Eight of Swords here, that this what imprisoned you will break down. And I think not imprisoned you, but this need to follow the tradition and go through the orthodox way. And the Tower gets replaced with the Emperor card, and I quite like it. It can represent either a person in your life, or perhaps this need for to build a strong structure after the old one fell apart, like whatever it can be. It could be, if we're talking about, let's say, work scenario, if there was a restructure or changes at work, they will be replaced by someone with a strong guidance, who will be able to help and rebuild. Now, I do like the High Priestess card here. I think this is the first read for this month, for November, that the High Priestess showed up. Now, High Priestess represents a sacred knowledge, but it also represents a change that is not seen, right? So in this case, I can see how the disappearance of a tower, whatever structure you had in place, it could be many things. Your way of doing things, perhaps, or something else will be replaced with a bit more a strong foundational type of person who will be coming in and clearing it. But I also like the High Priestess coming here, because Emperor rules with the iron hand, and it's not the best way to live. He's quite rigid in a way. The High Priestess, yeah, so in this case, it's a connection with something that you can't really see. The High Priestess is quite elusive, but she also represents a change that happens without you knowing about it. And I think while this could also mean many things, but in combination with the Sun here, I want to say that this is definitely a good change in your favor. Whatever change is happening, it's a positive one. Let's get a clarifier card, and we can get a bit more understanding what's happening here. Resolve the conflict. Pay deeper attention to different opinions. Yeah, so I think this probably speaks to the Eight of Swords. I think the Eight of Swords here probably representing this isolation, right? If you've been withdrawing from spending time with others because there's been a conflict, or perhaps you can't figure out where, you cannot find all the answers you're looking for to make a decision. You need to, what this suggesting to me is, you need to look at other people's view, right? And get out of that isolation. So this Emperor here can represent, as I mentioned, a strong leader that will emerge in your life, or maybe that person is already there. The Eight of Swords as an action card often suggests that you need to start asking for help. And if you haven't been doing it, this card is a suggestion that you need to start looking at that, and perhaps not necessarily looking for help, but not asking for help, but perhaps looking at other people and what they're expressing. Just pay attention to what's already happening to get the answers that you're looking for. And most certainly you will find those answers because of the Sun card here and the High Priestess. So I quite like it for you, Libra. Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your part of reading. I hope you had a nice week so far, and November brings you even more happiness and joy. Can see there's a lot of passion going to happen. There's a lot of wands in this read for you. Right, so we've got two kings. The ambient energy is King of Cups, and the core of a read is King of Wands. It's quite interesting because these kings are different, but they also combine the archetype of the Emperor, the male prominent energy in the read. So overall, ambient energy is a nurturing one. There's a energy of support and attentiveness from a really strong grounding place. King sits on this throne surrounded by water, and he's not even in the slightest concerned about water. He holds a cup in his hand, and it's suggestion that he's in complete control of his emotions. And I think this is the energy that you're going to be approaching this month with. But you also have a King of Wands here. It's a main learning of the core of this reading. And I like, it definitely resonates with two other Wands cards that you have here. And King of Wands is a passionate and charismatic leader, right? So I can see how you're ready to take control, and you're ready to take charge, more importantly. So it sounds like a really good month for you, Scorpio. In your inner thoughts, desires, and mindset, we've got a Six of Wands. November, you're going to meet the month quite victorious. I would say that you feel very confident about yourself and your ability to deal with whatever challenges life brings you. That's a good sign here. Towards the mid of month, I can see there's going to be a lot of challenging thoughts in your head. Perhaps the environment will be bringing things for you that you will have to deal with, and you may have some competing ideas. And an idea, well, the way it progresses, you're going to have to find balance in the practical sense too, rather than just trying to calm your ideas. Find a way to perhaps find equilibrium between your inner and your outer world. If your work life is busy, trying to attend to your spiritual needs. If you're spending too much time on your projects and you lock yourself in a studio somewhere recording videos, like I sometimes do, don't forget to get out there and feel the sun on your skin, spend time with your friends, look at the ducks, swim in the pond, and enjoy life a little bit, right? So just and don't forget to drink water and exercise too. That's also important. So life is not just about victories; it's also about experiencing joy of life and sharing it with others. Now, the main core here. So you got Seven of Wands. That's the second Wands card. It looks like it's not just the your mind that has some competing ideas. It's also your environment there. It looks like while you are victorious, and it's a beautiful thing, your mindset is definitely working in your favor. You will be challenged in November, and it's what I see here. It's challenge progressing to you actually winning it and becoming really strongly seated in your throne, so to speak, defending your position where you are recognized as a leader in your field, whatever it may be. Whether it's going to a meeting, defending your idea confidently, whether it's resolving some issues where you have to prove that your opinion is correct, that's going to end up with you proving it is correct. So King is definitely the most senior card in a suit of wands here. And while you may feel that you need to find balance, I think there are more things. Well, first of all, if you had any doubts, if you had any other projects you've been working on, whether you're thinking, well, how long my success is going to last, there's definitely hope. And I think there's also other things to aspire to do. The star here, definitely, I like to call it the North Star, the ideal that you want to aspire to be. But also, star represents a balance. I see another card here, the Temperance. It also represents a balance, and I think Pentacles, the Star and Temperance card here in this corner, they definitely balance out. There's a need for you to balance out whatever busy stuff is happening in your life, right? Avoid the burnouts. If that's where you're heading, just recognize that victories take their toll. Warriors come back from battles with scars, and you have to make sure you tend to those so you can continue living the best life that you have. Externally, well, yes, definitely your environment is going to call for you to not to slow down necessarily, but to attend to other needs, right? The Temperance card here. And I think it could also be a person in your life who cares about you and want to make sure that you're okay. So if that person does come and ask you to, look after yourself and do things in a certain way, definitely listen to the advice because they do care about you. And it could be your inner voice as well, right? So if you feel that you need to slow down, if you feel like you haven't recovered from whatever busy week you had, take a bit of time off, right? Also, I think it's important here that a reminder that winning is not about brute strength. It's not about crushing your enemies. Winning could be being kind to yourself and others. This lady here, she's holding the lion, and because it's external influences, I would say that your environment will require you not to smash through challenges, but to win people's hearts through kindness and through realizing their vulnerabilities and helping them along the way. And that's how you become this passionate leader. There's definitely a connection here. Now, finally, we got this, the Three of Pentacles card. Quite often represents methodical, steady work with others, right? And I can see here you are seen as a leader in your field, which is beautiful. And I think this star card here represents that getting to your next level, whatever that level is, through working with others, right? Definitely, these three cards work together with the Pentacles as well. I think it's also balance between being a leader and being recognized as an expert, but also not be humble in that, right? I think it's also, these cards play really well. I think the Strength card can also represent this soft power, being leading through example and through kindness. Let's get a clarifier card, see if we can get anything more details on this, hopefully to make it easy for you to go through November. Pursue your dream. Have faith in your intuition. Yeah. So I think this is definitely a suggestion that whatever next step you're going to be you want to take, this is going to be something that you really care about and something that you know in the gut is right. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your part of the reading. I hope you had a wonderful day so far, and hopefully my reading will help you to have even a better month ahead. So, if you haven't seen the other segments, I'm using the tableau spread here, and this represents 3 parts of your life: the internal world, desires, thoughts, and ideas, and the core learnings and external world, right? It's quite interesting because I can see 2 swords. That's going to be a very ideas and new beginnings rich month for you, Sagittarius. The swords card here is your ambient energy, and swords represent new ideas, new beginnings, clarity. If you felt that you weren't sure where your next effort needs to be put into, the swords the aces can definitely help with that, like this one here. Now, also you have this devil card, and this is a reminder of unhealthy attachments in our lives. The devil card sometimes means an addiction, but more often it means living through an illusion, or maybe even more through habitual thinking that may not be useful or good for you, but you continue doing it because it's just an easy way. You can walk away anytime, but you're still choosing to be there. Quite an interesting card, right? But also the devil can represent a raw power, right? So which, with a combination with Ace of Swords, could mean that you may want to reach out and grab what you want rather than to spend days and times thinking about it, because swords are about clarity and fast action, and devil is about that very raw, very I don't want to say natural, but more of the no niceties sort of thing. Go and grab them, go after those goals kind of thinking. Looking at your inner world, we've got the Empress, and Empress quite often represents fertility. In this case, I would say that because it's your mindset, first week of November and towards the middle of November, there's definitely the fertile or creative, I'd say in this case, thinking on your part, which correlates quite well with the Ace of Swords card. And I think that's going to help you to make some progress, right? Now, they also have the Moon card here, which often represents uncertainty. But what I like about the Moon card is that it's a progression, right? So you can see this crustacean here climbing out of water, and it's climbing all the way through along this path there with a dog and a wolf, or 2 dogs, through uncertainty towards a goal, right? And what this card is saying, while you may not be 100% certain on where you're gonna, how challenging or how difficult your path is going to be, and where you're heading, you need to continue walking the path, right? It may be dark there, but you just need to continue walking and developing. And the 3 of Pentacles card does suggest that this card is about mastership, but more importantly, working with others. So while you don't have all the answers yet, it's important for you to develop or cultivate this feeling of needing to work with others, right? To become successful, whatever you're planning on there. Whether it's working with your partner to break through the next challenge you have, whether it's working with your neighbors to fix issues around your unit block or park area, what have you. But this is definitely kind of working with others and building that mindset, more importantly. Now you also have a new beginning, new passion here starting as a core learning. It's quite interesting. I'm curious about that too. And most certainly the devil card here, I think it doesn't suggest an unhealthy attachment here. It does suggest that you may have to be I guess crude and raw about it if you want to pursue these ideas. Perhaps it's even meaning that your idea may not be 100% perfect, right? But you just have to create something that will just get you through the first stages. However, if it's in November, you don't really, there's no any ideas coming your way or anything like that, or you're not involved with entrepreneurial thing, this could also mean that for you to really act on this new beginning, the clear communication, clarity I mentioned, the new ideas, and here new passion pursuit, you need to let go of whatever is it holding you up, right? And I think it's also very much aligned with this Seven of Cups card here, right? If you want to follow your dream and you want to follow the correct one, and eliminate many choices, this is where you need to let go of potentially of unhealthy thinking, and break through the illusions, right? So the Four of Cups, well, I can see that there is definitely universe is offering you something, but you're not ready to accept it, because its external environment is definitely playing to me it's definitely showing me a couple of interesting things. First of all, we talked about a new passion idea. It looks to me that the universe is offering you that, but the only way you will be able to see it and take it if you become less complacent about your current situation, and also open your eyes a little bit to other things in your life, right? So if you do want to make that next step, I can definitely see in November you'll be offered plenty of opportunities, only if you want to take it. The devil card here is definitely, I think, reading it more now, I'm realizing that it is about unhealthy attachments, or perhaps unwillingness to take the next step and walk away from something that's not working for you, an illusion potentially, and not making that first step, right? Because you do have this life offering, so to speak, with new ideas. And the Five of Swords here, the follow up from that, well, yeah, it could mean many different things. It could mean a fight. It could mean a conflict, right? And I think this is probably here that you're not willing to accept whatever universe is giving you is going to result in some kind of a conflict. Perhaps people will not be understanding of you not taking that, not taking that first step, or not realizing you got those opportunities there. And the good thing about it also gonna go into judgment. And you see this, the horn, the angel playing this horn here, and people rising, right? And this card represents a transformation, right? I think whatever is happening here with this unhealthy attachment that I was talking about, and a bit of a conflict, is going to result in you going through a significant transformational change, right? And I think it's definitely a good card, but you need to be prepared for it, because the judgment is the only way to come out of judgment with a winning hand is to get the learning, right? And really learn from your experience rather than continue repeating and doing the same thing over and over again, getting the same results. Let's get the clarifier card. I want to pull one out and just see if you get more clarity on the action you need to take. Express your emotions, speak from your heart, and be free. Yeah, so I think this is probably speaking to this card here, right? Speak from your heart and be free. I have a feeling that you either not, for whatever reason, you're not expressing yourself freely, and perhaps that's the reason why you kind of sit in here, because you don't want to maybe upset others, or feeling like you're unfair to others, right? And that's why you're not calling out whatever you may be seeing. You're not saying how you really feel, and that's why you still being attached there to whatever situation you have there. But also, I think the Four of Cups, this card speaks to that. I think it's often becoming complacent because we are not willing to allow ourselves feel what we really feel, because of potential failure, right? And here, speaking from your heart and be free, I think that suggests to that if we never speak our truth, if we never willing to be honest with ourselves and then open our eyes to other opportunities, right? We're never going to progress, and I think that speaks to it here. You really need to be honest with yourself and allow yourself to feel what you need to feel for you to be able to see other opportunities in life, and whatever it may be. I keep thinking of career or relationship. That's what's somehow playing in my mind, but it could be also some other things. But it's definitely something for you to be able to work through. While it looks challenging to me, I see some really strong cards here, progressing despite the uncertainty, right? This Judgment card is definitely you going for some transformational change that's going to open other doors for you, right? And these beautiful ideas are coming into your life. So as long as you act on them and show up authentically, I think it's going to be a beautiful month for you, Sagittarius. Hello, Capricorn. Thank you for being here today. So I'm going to line the cards up. What you see in the left column is your predictions for your inner world, thoughts, ideas, and desires. The middle column is your core learnings. And finally, the last column here is your external world. Just line the cards up a little bit and take a look. So for the ambient energy card, we got the Hermit. And Hermit is an interesting card. This is a person who is by himself, but it is by choice. The Hermit here is looking for truth. And he's looking for truth by looking into himself. It's a time of reflection and time of solitude. Now, interestingly enough, you also have the Four of Swords, Capricorn, as your core energy. And it also suggests to me that you are potentially healing from a disappointment or heartbreak, or something that didn't meet your expectations. And in November, you're going to be taking time for yourself to reflect on your experience and I guess heal and recover. Now, let's have a look at your other cards in the spread so we can get more context behind the message here. So in the left column, you have the Moon, the World, and Strength cards. It's quite interesting. I love this here. There's some really big cards came up in this spread for you, Capricorn, and it's going to be quite I want to say a pivotal month for you. So the Moon generally represents an uncertainty, right? And it looks like you've got a few things on your mind, and you're not really sure what's expecting you. And I guess the point of the Moon card is to remind you that the road to something worth walking to, or a goal that is worthy, requires dealing with uncertainty, right? So this crustacean here is walking through the mud towards these mountains here, and it's definitely a road for someone who really wants what lies ahead, but at the same time, it's not an easy one, and I can totally understand it here. Now, the good thing about this spread here is that you also have the World card, which to me sounds like towards the mid part of November, there's going to be some good news coming your way, the accomplishment of something that you worked really hard on. And I think there's going to be just a final step before that coming to fruition. It's going to be a bit of uncertainty, but you just have to persevere. Right? And the World card is a big card in Major Arcana. It simplifies the completion of a cycle, if you're familiar with the full journey. And this card is usually seen when you finish one of these big major parts or cycles in your life. And it's quite a massive card. Whatever it is for you, I'm quite excited for what lies ahead for you in November. And finally, we have the Strength card, right? And Strength card is about, well, you can see it different ways. In this context, because we're looking at your mindset and thoughts and ideas, it reminds us to be gentle with ourselves and not trying to push when it's not necessary, right? The compassion, self-care go a long way, rather than trying to beat yourself up or something that could have been or something that didn't work out. Though I don't see anything that necessarily tells me that something isn't going to work out. The World card is definitely a completion of a cycle, and it's a beautiful one too. So I think what it means here is that just continue treating yourself the way that you have been, with a compassion and kindness. Now, a couple of strong cards here. The Wheel of Fortune. This card represents a change, and it also represents a change that isn't in your control. When I see this card, normally I'm thinking of I think as one of the US presidents said, that you have to make the best with resources available and knowledge available at the time. And that's exactly, I think, what this is. You cannot control and influence everything, but what you can do is show up as the best person, the best version of yourself. Give it everything you have, polish your craft, be sincere, and let the universe do its thing. Because that's a part of living, the beauty of uncertainty of life, that certain things aren't up to us. And the Wheel of Fortune also has things going up and down there. And generally, if let's say if you had a month that was mediocre, right? If previous weeks weren't going well, the Wheel of Fortune normally tells you that things are about to change in the positive direction. Now, the Four of Swords. Legend goes that the medieval knights who came back from a battle lied on a coffin, empty coffin, in a temple or a crypt to reflect and on what happened and cultivate feeling of gratitude that they have survived, where some of the friends who went with them didn't come back. And I think this card represents taking time off, solitude, to rest and recover, and also learn from the potentially disappointing moments that you went through. And I think this Wheel of Fortune here indicates to me that you had some challenging times in October or leading to November. And this is definitely the wheel going up, because if you remember, the card that goes before Four of Swords is a Three of Swords, and that card signifies disappointment normally, or broken heart. Now, another thing to see here, the universe is going to be offering you stuff, the gifts and opportunities, as you can see here, the Four of Cups. And the card can represent many things. If you work, for instance, you may be in looking for promotion, perhaps you're not looking at the things where this may come through. It could be something that you're not actually paying attention to. But also, it's a reminder of not to be complacent. And I think perhaps towards the end of the month, the reminder here is that take your time to rest and recover and reflect. But don't forget that staying for too long in that state is potentially going to lead you to stagnation. And the reflection is only good as a learning tool, but not as something you would want to continue doing for a very long time. I think that's Four of Cups, that just a reminder of that. Now, the external energies, and this is normally people, environment that you you find yourself in. Ace of Swords often represents an idea of breakthrough or communication breakthrough, and this is definitely coming here. And I wonder if it's something to do with the Wheel of Fortune. So perhaps things are changing, right? And the Moon card here, I think this is also, when we're talking about uncertainty, there will be chance for you to clear things out. And I think this is what was going to lead to the world to a feeling of accomplishment. We also have the Emperor and Death. We have very, very strong cards in this read, I have to say. The Emperor represents a person. It's a masculine energy of someone who is a very strong leader. Someone who is a little bit rigid sometimes, because the Emperor here wears the armor, and that restricts the movement. But also the Emperor is ready to move, ready to go if action needs to be taken. It shows to me that there's a person in your life that represents this charismatic leader, almost like a father figure, and they are also involved with this period of reflection I'll be looking at. And they also are involved with the world, the accomplishment, right? Because they're here on the same level, and the Emperor is giving a quick look at the core card here. Finally, we have a Death card, and fear not, death in tarot isn't literal death. What this means is a transformational change. Something is coming to an end. It's quite interesting because you've got the World card here, and you've got the Death card here as well. And I think what this represents here is going to be ending of something you've been involved with coming, and it's a good thing, right? So usually the Death card signifies that it's going to be a change happening. Now, you cannot control it. In some ways, the Death card is similar to Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes we do not welcome change. We try not to get involved and keep things as they are. But life is ever changing, right? And we have to embrace changes coming to our lives. So you can resist the change, but inevitably it's going to happen. And the best way to approach it, of course, is embrace it. And I think this is probably connected to the card here, the Four of Cups, that I think this is, if this card means stagnation, if you've been in a relationship that's been that's not going anywhere, not working for you, but you decide to stay there and not looking for opportunities, I think the Death card here is definitely going to make you look at the other things out there, whether it's work, it's relationships, or something you've been involved with. And it's a good thing, right? In a way, there's going to be a bit of a push coming for you. If you feel a bit stagnated, there's definitely change coming. Let's get a clarifier card, and maybe we'll get a bit more clarity on this transformational changes that's happening in the month of November for you. And card doesn't want to come out, but we'll try to do anyway. Stand in your strength. Tap into the wellspring of your power. It's a beautiful card. I think this is exactly what it's talking about here. Stand in your strength. It's the exact name of a card. But I think it's also what it's suggesting is that don't shy away from transformational change. And when you go through a period of certainty here in the first half of the month, just remember how powerful you are. You got here, you've been through a lot, and you learn a thing or two. So deal with an uncertainty by facing it. And fear is something that dissipates quite quickly. If you get closer, you understand the details and you start working on something. So the main thing with the Moon card here is to continue walking towards something and take action. Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your November reading. Hope you've been having a wonderful day. In this reading, we'll look at your internal thoughts, ideas, and desires, the core message, and the external influence. The ambient energy. We've got a Knight of Cups here. So Knight of Cups can represent many different things. Because it's general reading, we're not going to go into a romantic side of things, but it can represent a proposal. It's a Knight is the romantic of a deck. See, he's got these roses on him and holding a cup. But what really, if you look at it from just general perspective, a Knight is someone who is about to charge into, get into something that he really cares about. Often represents a relationship, but also could be getting involved with something that you really care about. And the Knights are about action. So November is going to be definitely a month where you're going to be more active in that space. Interestingly enough, you also have two of Cups, and there's definitely some romance happening here, because you've got two of those really strong cards, and Two of Cups represents a connection with someone, a really strong emotional connection with the person. Now, if you're not in a situation where you're in a relationship, perhaps this could also mean a relationship with yourself, and you finding ways to reconnect with yourself and becoming more emotionally open. Left column here, we've got your thoughts and desires. There's a big change happening. Will change primarily with your mindset. There's some kind of a revelation or some realization happening coming your way, and it represents a transformational change, and often change that is not in our control, right? So there's going to be some kind of an event or something happening that will change the way you think, right? It's going to be some kind of a mindset change, significant. If I were to compare it with, remember going to Tony Robbins events years ago, he spoke about how he made people quit smoking by making them smoke 20 cigarettes or something like that, creating this sort of traumatic experience for them that they moved away from it. It may not be similar to that, but it's going to be some kind of experience that will lead you to change your perspective on things. And hopefully this would be a lesson that you can reflect on. And it's followed by the star. I quite like have this combination here. And what it's telling me here, whatever change is happening here, is going to lead to something very positive, right? The star represents, I call it the North Star sometimes. It represents the hope, or also an aspiring ideal, right? So it's definitely that's happening, something changing, moving into a new beginning. And the Strength card showed up for another sign here today. Suggests to me that while you're going through this change, you need to treat yourself with care, right? Don't beat yourself up because things didn't work out a certain way, or you didn't, you couldn't think in the way you expected it to be. Be gentle. Things happening for a good reason, right? And the Strength card here suggests that there's a hard power when you push through things, and there's also a soft power, soft strength, right? And this compassion and care, that's what required here. In the middle column, we have Nine of Cups, the Two of Cups, and Four of Cups. This is going to be very emotionally involved month for you. I can see it from the cards here, Aquarius. Quite interesting as well, being Aquarius sign. So the Nine of Cups. This card quite often means a wish coming true, right? Some sense of emotional fulfillment. Now, it's not one thing to remember about Nine of Cups is that while a person is very happy sitting there, there's also something else happening, right? Because you see all these drapes behind his back, and he's also sitting somewhat uncomfortable on this bench. And I think what Nine of Cups really represents is that you'll get what you want, but you need to be asking yourself a question whether whatever you got is sustainable in the long run, and whether it's a genuine change that you welcome in your life. They wish that is actually going to serve you well. And I think the good thing here is that you also have Two of Cups. So this is toward the end of the month. So it's the core of this reading, right? I think you will find that fulfillment. You will find through this that there's other avenues to explore. It's not a wish. It's not over-encompassing wish like a Ten of Cups, for example. And the reminder here on the Four of Cups is to not stay complacent, right? So if you do start this beautiful connection with like a romantic partner, or maybe with yourself, do not stay complacent. Like, people start dating and they, in the beginning, they say nice things and go for dinners and there's flowers and all that sort of stuff, and then a couple of years into a relationship, it all gradually disappears. So this card is a reminder: don't become complacent, right? In the external influence, we have a few interesting cards here. We've got the Ace of Wands, which quite often represents a new opportunity, new job sometimes. Often could be a new idea that is worth pursuing, right? At this point, it's just energy, right? So there may be someone coming to you and offering you something. Whether you decide to take the offer, it's entirely up to you. Though I can see here that you're ready for a change, right? You may not want it, but maybe this is a will need to change. It's also going to be some breakthrough in communication here for you with the Ace of Swords, and perhaps this is what's leading to the building that connection. To really connect with other people, you need to be authentic, and we often forget about that. And I think this is coming from external. So perhaps there's a person in your life who will come forward with being open and direct with you, but also it could be you facing the uncomfortable truth that will result with the connection with yourself, self-awareness. And towards the end of the month, there's a bit of uncertainty happening here with the Moon. Now, Moon is not necessarily a negative card; it can represent many things. While the path here is dark, the Moon still illuminates, and also it's a card of intuition, right? So this frustration to come out and walk through, it needs to rely on its senses. And if you don't have all the answers with the Moon, stay the course. Don't stray from a road, and don't let ups and downs to distract you from where you want to be. Let's pull a clarifier card and see what that gives us. This card came up a couple of times today. The follow your calling, and I think this speaks directly to the Moon card here, that you need to attend to your life purpose. So if you may not have all the answers, but you just need to keep going, right? And if you know where you're heading, and if you're listening to your heart, you know what you want, it makes things much easier. And it's also, I think, a reminder here with the Four of Cups that having that life purpose makes things easier. Perhaps you are involved with something that you really don't connect with, and because of that, you don't really see other opportunities. And this also connects with the Death card. With the change happening, with transformational change happening, this is a time for you to perhaps change things up a little bit. And if you previously, let's say, I'm going to use a job example, were involved with something that just paid the bills, perhaps this is a time when you need to look at something that you really care about, perhaps a job that allows you for creativity or something that you really fascinated about or passionate about. Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. it's my last recording for the signs, and you're the lucky last. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your support. We're gonna look at the inner energies, the core learnings, and the external influences for the month of November. And we're gonna start with the ambient energy card. So you've got 10 of Pentacles, beautiful card to be in. And I quite like that you have a few coins in this read, which is interesting. To me, it sounds like there's definitely some wealth changes happening and positive changes to that your way. Let's look at the first card here. So the 10 of Pentacles. This represents generational wealth. It's often a card of inheritance coming or achieving a massive goal that took you years to accomplish. Goal in building wealth. So if you're looking at this as an energy, this month is an opportunity for you to plant a seed for that generational wealth. And interestingly enough, you've got the 8 of Pentacles here as well. And this card represents mastery, really honing your skill. The person here making this Pentacles, right? And it's literally, he's making money here, right? It's also this card as a reminder that you do need to keep a balance, and we'll talk about it in a second, because I can see another card here, Temperance, that normally represents finding balance in your life. And if you're a person who tend to spend long hours at work and forget to have lunch, this could be a reminder of that. But let's just go in order and look at the columns as they come. So you got the Chariot, the Page of Swords, and Queen of Swords. Interesting enough, you've got 2 sword cards here. And in November, you will be taking a charge. It could be a trip as well. You may be going on a business trip. But also, if you're not traveling, this could represent you taking control of your life. The Chariot, the rider on the Chariot here, he's got choice, and it's black and white. Sphinx sitting in front of him. The idea there is to use your will. So you are capable, and you need to use your will to make a decision. It looks like you're going to make one here, which will lead you to seeing some messages. Page of Swords can represent a message, can also represent a beginning of something, a learning, right? So you may be discovering new ways of connecting with someone, or express yourself more clearly. In this case, I would say that you are deciding on something big, and this once you make that decision, it's going to lead you to getting first of all, mental clarity. That's one. And once you make a decision, things will become clearer for you. That's 100%. Whatever decision that is, you just use your willpower to start moving with that, and you're going to see results right away. You also have a Queen of Swords here, and I think this Queen, I quite like this Queen. She is a person who takes no BS, right? She sees through people, and she's ready to face challenges front on. And it looks like to me you're going to maintain a really sharp mind, you making decisions, and then being able to challenge others if you're facing challenges. So really good read here for your mindset. One word I will probably sum it up: clarity and indecisiveness. Now, the middle column, you're learning for the month. November may be a bit of a balancing act. 2 of Pentacles can represent money coming in, money coming out, right? Just making your balance sheet, making sure that your bills are paid on time. Nothing to worry about here. You can see there's a ocean with ships going up and down in the back, but the person here is capable of standing on one foot and balancing the 2 Pentacles out. So You just need to be aware that there may be that happening. So make sure you pay your bills, of course, and keep an eye on things. Don't let it run away. The Eight of Pentacles, that's a core message here, right? I think this November is about mastering your skill, honing your craft. There may be some, you may be needed to work a bit more than you would normally do, but it's definitely all happening in a good ambient energy, as I mentioned. That this mastering the skills will lead you to something big, right? And Ten of Wands, of course, towards the end of November, you'll be wrapping up. So whatever project you've been working on, I think the one phase is finished here. You may be feeling a little bit tired, and it's understandably so, because this guy is carrying so many wands of poles here. Look like fence poles. And this is, if you've been involved with a project, this is coming to an end. Right, so and this is towards the end of the month. Now, external influences. You've got the Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is a person in your life who quite nurturing, who cares about you, and who's really connected with nature, with themselves, down to earth. You see the Queen here; she's surrounded by all these animals, and it's also a person who's been there and done that. They do represent, that person represents abundance. It may not necessarily be someone who is wealthy. It could also be a person who achieved success in life, and success could mean many things, right? It could be someone who is just very happy and content with who they are, and this person will be looking to help you with balancing out you're doing here. You can see that both Queen and, I think you know who this person is because you are familiar with each other by the looks of it. And if you need help with balancing the stuff out, don't forget to ask for that. Don't forget to reach out. Now, there seems to be a new connection happening your way. Now, it's opportunity. Whether you decide to take on it or not, it's entirely up to you. But cups represent a new beginning, a spark of energy. So, and cups, of course, are emotions. So there may be someone in your environment who wants to connect with you. This could potentially lead to a balanced relationship here, but also the Temperance here could represent you making sure that you keep a balance of things. And if Two of Pentacles could mean balancing your finances, the Temperance means balancing different parts of your life, right? And be fair with each other, but more importantly, if you do happen to work long hours here, and it is an important thing because, I mentioned that there's an opportunity for generational wealth. Make sure you balance it out. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket because, as the saying goes, no one on the last moments said that I wish I worked more. Right? Most people talk about how they wanted to spend more time with their family, with their parents. Some wanted to do more things, and this card reminds you that don't be all work and no joy. Let's get a clarifier card. Hopefully, we can get this a little bit clearer for you. Overall, beautiful month ahead, Pisces. I quite like what I'm seeing here. Move forward. Let love propel you over hurdles. Yeah, so it's interesting. So I think this is probably referring to the Chariot here. Move forward. Let love propel you over hurdles. If you are deciding between these two decisions, two options, I should say, I think what this is telling me, pick the one that you care the most about. If you really love something, that's the one you go with. So at least here, that's the suggestion is, and I think this would lead to clarity. Strangely enough, swords normally represent this thinking, the clarity, and they are quite emotionless in that. But I think the card here is suggesting that if you choose what you love, that's where you get the clarity from, right? And I quite like it here. I hope this resonated. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.